Okay, good morning all of you. Good morning. Myself Venkatramana from MBA department, working as an assistant professor at site. Today we are going to look at the subject called production and operations management. Before getting into the topics in the production and operations management subject, we just need to know what is production and what are operations and how to manage the production and operations within the organizations well in order to get an optimum output. So here the production simply means it is a process of transforming the goods or transformation of the inputs into outputs, or you can say the transformation of or conversion of raw materials into finished goods. So operations means any set of processes or methods or sequential activities which transforms or which assists the producer to transform the inputs into outputs. In order to get a effective or efficient result from the production process, the manager needs to well all the production and operations activities within the organization. So here you can observe the definition of the production and operations management. Majorly it involves planning, organizing and supervising the process to make necessary improvement for the higher profitability. If you see, or if you go for any kind of organizations, every businessman wants to earn the maximum profits before the previous years. So for the higher profitability, for getting a higher profitability, it is very important to manage all the things, all the process within the organization. So here it is nothing but the production and operations management is nothing but it is a field of study concerned with the management of process that transforms inputs into outputs. Whenever you inputs into outputs, in the sense you are going to add some value, to the raw materials which will be useful. Okay, you are adding some usage value. If you see, or if you go for before transforming the soil into bricks, the soil doesn't have any usable thing. It was not a usable thing before it is converted into bricks. So you are adding some value to the raw materials in order to get the efficient result. It is mainly concerned with, as I already told you, it is mainly concerned with the conversion of raw materials into finished goods. So here it is the definition of production and operations management. It is related to the production process that results goods or services are produced according to the specifications. Here according to the specifications to make necessary improvements. So the production and operations management is related to, we need to produce the goods or services according to the specifications and amounts that are demanded by the customers there at a minimum cost. And you can see here scope of the production and operations management, which areas the production and operations management is going to focus on. Here the first one is production design and development. Every product will be demanded based on their specifications and features as well. When the production when the particular product doesn't it is not in a proper design, the products or the services may not be required or may not be demanded by the people. Here the product design and the development of the product design will be covered under the production and operations management, and as well as the capacity planning and the management. Capacity planning in the sense, if you have a higher demand in the market for your products or the services, you need to understand, you need to assess yourself how much capacity that your organization is need to produce the required quantity of goods or services. And management, here anything should be managed well in order to get a fruitful result. So capacity planning and the management will also be covered under the production and operations management subject. The quality control and the improvement. If you look at any kind of manufacturing concerns, the quality will definitely plays a major role. So here the quality control and the improvement is very important. Inventory management. Inventory management is nothing but it starts from the procurement of raw materials and ends with the distribution of the finished goods to the people or needy people. Supply chain management is also must be well designed in order to supply the produced goods. We shouldn't keep the produced goods with us for a long time, so we need to distribute, we need to supply the goods or services that has been produced by us to the required people. So the supply chain management is also being covered under the scope of production and operations management. Operations schedule and the sequencing. Operations schedule and sequencing means when the activity should be commenced and when it should be completed. Those kind of schedules to be properly prepared by a production manager. The scope of production and operations management will covers the production schedules and sequencing also. Sequencing in the sense one by one, step by step process. The step by step process will also be designed by the production manager. And maintenance and equipment management. Maintenance is very important. Maintenance is very important within the organizations. Why? Because we need to ensure that the equipment or the materials that must be in a proper way in order to use for the production process. And equipment management, we need to make sure to available those kind of equipment or the machineries must be available within the production or industrial areas in order to produce, in order to take the orders and to produce the requisite goods or services. So here there is a man who has been assigned some kind of roles and some kind of responsibilities with him. The production manager is the one who produces the goods or services or who manages everything well in order to get an efficient result. So the roles and responsibilities of the production manager will be planning and scheduling. You know, if you go for any kind of activity, the planning is must. Planning is must in the sense you need planning in the sense it bridges a gap between the present and future. So here you need to plan the things well and scheduling the every activity, when one particular activity should be done and when it should be completed, and commencement and completion of the activities will be very important when it comes to the production and operations. So here the quality control, as I told you, the quality control has also been covered under the scope of production and operations management. So this is the responsibility of the production managers to manage and control the quality well. And resource management in the sense we need various resources to produce the goods or services like men, money, material, methods, management, or various techniques that are required to produce any kind of goods or services. So the resource management is also needed well. We need to make sure the availability of the raw material within the organization within a specified time period. So the resource management is also very needed. Cost management, as I told you, every businessman or every business organization wants to earn the maximum profitability. So the maximum profitability will be depends upon two aspects. Either one is cost reduction and the another one is price increase for the goods or services. No businessman or manufacturer will never dare to increase the price for their products or services. Why? Because similar products or services are being offered by the competitors. If the competitors are available, some other players are exist in the market for offering the various kinds of services or various kinds of goods, why do the people look at your products or the services? So the reduction of the cost will enables you to offer your goods or services at a competitive prices. So cost reduction is the very important responsibility of the production manager. So process improvement, various series of steps have been involved in the process of producing the goods or services. So here the process improvement, if there are any ideal steps are involved in the production process, you need to remove. Any other extra steps are needed, you need to add more. So process improvement is also needed. Health and safety, the people who are working in hazardous situations within the organizations, you need to promise them, you need to give some assurance them for their health and safety. No one will ready to work within your organization if it is harmful for their health and their safety. So health and safety is also very important thing. Team management, number of people are required to done the production process, so you need to build a team and you need to manage the team well in order to get the results. Timely production, the people are demanded the goods or services within some specific time frames, so you must be able to offer the goods or services the demanded time schedules. So all these are the roles and responsibilities of the production manager. Production planning and control, as you know, production planning and control will be the major thing or a major responsibility of the production manager. Why? Because every activity, if you go for any kind of activity, everything starts with a proper planning. If you don't have a proper planning, you will never done the activities efficiently. So planning and control is very important. You can observe the meaning of the production planning. Production planning control is the process of managing and organizing resources, activities required to produce or manufacture goods or services. It will provide the planning and control will enables you to properly manage and organize the resources and activities that are required to manufacture goods or services. So here the definition of production planning and control. Mainly the production planning and control majorly involve three considerations, namely what work shall be done, how the work shall be done, and by when the work shall be done. What kind of work shall be done, what kind of activities that we are going to adopt, what kind of activities that we are going to do. The what work shall be done might be the first priority or the first consideration for the production manager under the production planning and control. How the work shall be done, what kind of steps or what kind of process that needs to be taken by the producer will covered under the production planning and control. Lastly, when the work shall be done, as I already told you, there is a time schedule for producing anything. You need to supply the goods or services within the specific time frames. So when the work should be commenced is also very important consideration here. And here you can see objectives of the production planning and control. The main objective of the production planning and control is the quality of inputs. Quality of inputs in the sense, whenever you incurred a quality inputs, you will get the qualitative output. So it is the major objective of the production planning and control to procure the qualitative goods or services in order to produce the qualitative goods. Nature of inputs is also another objective of the production planning and control. Why? Because nature of the what kind of goods or what kind of inputs that you have been incurred, that you have been employed to produce the goods or services will also very important consideration. Proper coordination is also very important. Why? Because in one particular organization there are number of departments are existed, like HR department, human resource department, and finance department, R&D department, production department, procurement department, like various departments are existed. With a proper coordination among all other departments, the production process will go smoothly. Better control over all the activities will also the another objective. And you can see other objectives of the production and operations planning and control. Here production planning and control process, this is the process, this is the series of steps which the producer needs to follow under the production planning and control. First, the producer needs to plan the activities, when how the work shall be done, when the work shall be done, what kind of work shall be done by a human resource within the organization. And routing, the routing in the sense, you need to select the best path in which all the inputs are need to go through. Scheduling, as I have mentioned earlier, scheduling in the sense when the work should be commenced and when the work should be completed. Loading in the sense, assigning various activities, various tasks to the people who are going to be involved in the production process. And this is the process of planning. You can observe the controlling process. Here you may know the definition of the control in the sense, you need to know what kind of work shall be done and how the work shall be done, then you are need to look at the definition of the control in the sense, under management terms, the control in the sense, it is a process of setting some standards and make sure whether all our activities have been done according to the standards or not. If there are any deviations happen during the process, you need to take the corrective measures: dispatching, follow-up, inspection and corrective measures. You need to take all these three steps have been done by you, then you need to take the corrective actions. So here there are various methods of productions are there. Those mainly these three methods of productions are there. The first one is job production. Job production in the sense, here the producer will take the orders from the individuals and tries to produce the goods or services according to the individual specifications. Individual specifications in the sense, some A may require some kind of features in one particular good, person B may require some kind of different specifications. Under the job production, the production manager will going to produce the goods or services according to the individual specifications. And the next one is batch production. Batch production, in this process the producer will produce the goods or services at a specific amount of goods. Like for example, one design shirt may be produced 100 units, which means it is a batch production. Here a specified number of goods will be produced under the batch production. As the name itself emphasizes that it is a batch production. Here the production process will be going on a batch process. So mass production in the sense, here large amount of goods or services are produced which are similar in nature, and we are going to look at the aggregate planning and master scheduling. Aggregate planning, it is aggregate planning. So here you can observe the term itself implies that it is an aggregate planning. It will provide the planning for overall organization. The total organization, it is going to provide a plan. Various kinds of activities will be involved in the production process, so it will provide it will draft a planning for the overall organization, whereas the master scheduling is a detailed plan that specifies each and every activity, when it should be commenced, when it should be completed. So master scheduling is focusing on individual departments or individual areas to provide a specific plans. Here the difference between the aggregate planning and master scheduling. Here the first one is time horizon. Time horizon in the sense, the aggregate planning may be designed to assist the organization for 3 to 9 months period, whereas the master scheduling is only offers the plans for limited time periods, like for a specific production process or specific goods or services. It will provide only specific goods or services. So the level of detail in the sense, it will never, the aggregate planning may never detailedly discuss about each and every plan, each and every activity, where the master scheduling is done. Master scheduling will provide the level of detail in the sense, it will clearly discuss about each and individual activity, each and individual department. Flexibility, you may not have the flexibility in the aggregate plan. It will provide a total organization, it will provide a plan for the total organization, where the master scheduling is provides individual departmental plans or individual activity plans. So it is somewhat flexible when compared to the aggregate planning. The material requirement planning. It is also one of the subtopics of production planning and control, where the material requirement planning, the title itself emphasizes that it is a material requirement planning. So various number of materials are required to produce the goods or services. Requirement planning, here you can observe the definition. The material requirement planning helps the business and manufacturers to define what is needed, what kind of goods or services that are needed to produce the goods or services, and as well how much it is needed, how much in which amount of goods that are required to produce the goods or services, and when the material should be available in the organization. When if the producer happen to start the production process, that is the time when all the materials are required. So here works backward from the production plan and finished goods. So all these are required. What kind of goods are required, what amount of goods are required, when all the required quantity of materials that should be available in the organization. It will, the production material requirement planning provides a detailed plan, and as well as it is a computer based system. Automatically it will trigger the orders according to the triggered orders. It will make sure that the producer must be makes all the materials available within the organization. Here the inputs for MRP. Inputs for MRP in the sense from where it takes the inputs, which means here master production schedule. It is one of the inputs for material requirement planning. Based on the master production schedule, it will going to trigger the orders. It will going to make the materials or the goods that must be available in the organization. Master production schedule is a detailed plan for each and every activity within the organization. So it is one of the inputs for MRP. And bill of materials. Bill of materials in the sense every producer will get the bills from the supplier. So the bill of materials is also one of the important inputs for the inventory record file. And demand forecasts. Demand forecasts in the sense that before commencement of the production activities, the producer may happen to forecast the demand for their goods or services within the market. So these are the major inputs for MRP, material requirement planning. Here the capacity requirement planning. Capacity requirement planning in the sense, here the capacity means how much amount of goods the organization or the machinery within the organization are capable of producing. So capacity requirement planning in the sense here, how much capacity that we need to produce the goods or services. CRP is the process of determining whether a company's available production capacity. Already some organizations have some kind of material, some kind of capacity. According to the demand forecast, the production manager is going to decide whether the existing capacity within the organization is sufficient to do the production activities to meet the market demand or not. According to the demand forecast, according to the assessment of the production, assessment of the capacities of the organization will enables the managers to decide whether to procure the additional capacitative missions or you need to make some existing missions idle. You can observe the definition in this slide. Reasons for capacity requirement planning. There are various factors that can impact the demand for the goods or services within the organization. So here perceived threats in the sense some kind of competitors are getting into the markets, which will gives a high competition for the existing organizations, which will makes the existing organizations required to install the additional plants or the additional machinery to produce the goods or services. Changes in the technology. If one organization uses the old methods of production, old process of producing the goods or services, those kind of organizations needs to install the sophisticated technology in order to meet the demand for the goods or services in the organization. Opportunities. Every production manager must be able to grab the opportunities that arises from the market. So the opportunities, coming opportunities, rising opportunities will also enables the managers or makes him required to get the additional capacities. Change in the demand in the sense sometimes the demand for the goods or services may get high, sometimes it may low. So according to the demand availability, demanded quantities of the goods or services, the producer may can increase the capacity or decrease the capacity according to the change in environmental conditions. Change in environmental conditions is also another reasons for capacity requirement planning. Here, industrial safety. As you know, industrial safety is a very mandatory thing for the organizations which are involved in producing the goods or services. The definition of the industrial safety and some kind of important aspects that are related to the industrial safety you can observe in the slide. At the plant location. Plant location. Location in the sense, plant means which is capable of producing the goods or services, which is capable of converting the raw materials into semi-finished goods or finished goods. So location in the sense, it is a physical area where the machinery or a plant should be located. So here the plant location refers to the process of selecting the best location for a new manufacturing plant. Best location in the sense, it includes a various, it has been affected by various factors. Best location in the sense, the producer must see the availability of the raw materials. Wherever the raw materials availability is high, that is the place where the producer needs to establish his plant or machineries for the production process. Here you can see the factors affecting the plant location. These are the factors that can affect the plant location. As I told you, the production manager must identify the location where the excess availability of the raw materials, and the producer must have the access to the inputs. He must have the access to the inputs and the labor availability. As I told you, there are various factors of production like land, labor, capital. Labor in the sense human resources. Labor availability must be there in order to assign the tasks. Transportation and logistics. Transportation facilities must be there. Whenever you produce the goods or services, that must be transported from the place of production to the place of consumption. So the transportation facilities is also affecting the plant location. Regulatory environment. Regulatory environment in the sense different kinds of governments imposed or levied some kind of some state governments or the central governments may frames different regulatories for producing the goods or services, and the governments may happen to assess the impact. Impact assessments will be conducted by the governments, whether the future or prospective plant proposals may impact the health issues, so it may hazardous to the people or not. Is it safe to the people who are living in the surroundings or not? Based on those conditions, the government will going to frame the regulations. On cost considerations in the sense, if you establish a plant where the raw materials availability is low, then it will enable you more to incur more financial resources. So here the cost considerations are also very important. Political stability, you need to make sure that the political stability must be there. And plant layout planning. Plant layout planning is somewhat related to the plant location. Here plant layout planning in the sense, it is a after selecting the plant location, you need to position the machineries. You must be able to utilize the available physical area. The introduction part of the meaning of the plant layout tells us that the plant layout planning refers to the process of designing an arrangement of equipments and machinery. Arrangement of equipment and machinery, or means positioning of the machinery, is very important in order to utilize the optimum utilization of the physical floor. And the principles of plant location. These are the principles that must be considered by a producer in order to position the machinery. Proper flow, there must be a proper flow of resources, and safety, no one should be harmed while involved in the production process. And flexibility must be there. You must be able to change the plant position from one to another in order to get the efficient results. And communication, there are various departments that are existing within the organization, so the communication within the departments must be available in order to communicate with each and every department. Like your procurement department, as a production manager, he is producing goods or services, he needs to communicate with the finance department in order to get the financial resources. He needs to communicate with the procurement department in order to procure the raw materials that are required to produce the goods or services. Likewise, he needs to communicate with the various departments. So these are the principles: accessibility and maintenance. These are the major principles that the producer needs to look at in order to position the plant. Here the types of plant layouts: product layout, the process layout, combined layout. Product layout, equipment and machinery are arranged in a sequential order or a straight line order, where one raw materials are fed up in a one mission, and the producer will get the output in the at another end. So it is a product layout, and a process layout and combined layout. Combined layout in the sense which has a characteristics of a product layout and as well as process layout. Scheduling and sequencing. Scheduling in the sense it is determining the process when the production operations must be commenced and when it should be completed. And sequencing in the sense it involves determining the order in which the production operations should be performed. Now automation. Automation in the sense here it is simply means the elimination of manpower with the technology. It simply means elimination of manpower with the technology. So here fixed automation, there are three major types of automation here. Fixed automation in the sense it is fixed. It is automated but it is fixed. The producer never have a chance to make some kind of changes in the fixed automation, which means conveyor belt. The conveyor belt automation technology is fixed. It is continuously runs, but the producer doesn't have a chance to make some changes in the fixed automation. Flexible automation in the sense it is a kind of automation where the producer can able to make some changes. That is what is the flexible automation. Programmable automation. Programmable automation is a computer based system where the producer can give the instructions to the plants or the machinery to make some changes according to the specifications, according to the requirements, according to the demands within the market. So here the quality assurance. Quality is a very important thing to be considered by a producer. Why? Because based on the quality of the goods or services, the producers will going to attract. Whenever the one organization goods or services are in a high quality, then only the people are interested to buy more. The quality doesn't have a standard definition. Why? Because the quality simply means it is a features or a specifications of one particular good or services. Why it doesn't have a standard definition means the quality may be changed from one person to another person. Why? Because there are various quality dimensions. Like I may prefer some specifications, even though the good is very worst from one organizations, I may prefer some specifications. If it is there in that particular product, I will definitely buy that. Some people may prefer quantity, or some people may prefer a design. Likewise, the quality doesn't have a proper definition. The quality may be changed from one person to another person. Here the topic is quality assurance. Quality assurance in the sense here the producer will going to give assurance regarding the products or the services. Yes, we are providing this much of qualitative goods or services. We are promising to provide the qualitative goods or services. The definition of the quality assurance you can observe in the slide. Quality circles. Quality circles is a kind of thing within the organization. Here the quality circles will enable the employees within the organizations to form as a group and make proper arrangements for the organizations in order to gain high quality goods or services. You can see here quality circles is a small group of employees who voluntarily come together. Here anybody can participate in the quality circles who are ready to inspect the quality of the organizations, who are ready to assess the quality requirements of the people, and along all other things will be assessed this small group of employees, and no one will force the employees to be a part of quality circles, but voluntarily the employees will becoming a part of quality circle. This is all about the production and operations management. first 2.5 units for the first